It's Thursday, October 17. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Carol Francis. Senator Matthew Samuda is calling on the government to convene a special parliamentary committee to make recommendations regarding Jamaica's response to various environmental challenges. He made the call in a private member's motion in the Senate.
Be it resolved that this Honourable Senate call upon the government to embark on a process of actively monitoring developments taking place where issues of the environment and climate change are concerned, and that this Honourable Senate establish a special select committee to actively monitor, make recommendations and reports to members on developments taking place in the Jamaican society as it relates to the environment and climate change.
Mr. Samuda's motion comes days after Prime Minister Andrew Holness warned that small island developing states like Jamaica are among the most affected by climate change. Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie says all councillors from municipalities across the island are expected to participate in the upcoming 7th Regional Platform on Disaster Risk Reduction in the Americas and the Caribbean. The 3-day event being organized by the Local Government Ministry is slated to be held at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James, July 8 to 10 next year. Mr. McKenzie made the disclosure at a St. Anne Municipal Corporation meeting. Among the issues to be discussed at the conference is the impact of climate change on the Caribbean. The theme for the conference is Building Resilient Economies in the Americas and the Caribbean. Jamaica's 6th Prime Minister, 84-year-old P.J. Patterson, underwent hip replacement surgery on Wednesday at the University Hospital of the West Indies. Mr. Patterson was admitted to the Tony Thwaites wing of the hospital in Mona on Monday evening after a motor vehicle mishap at his home. Jamaica's push to promote the island as a premier destination to the Latin American market is bearing fruit. Latam Airlines, the largest carrier in South America with connectivity to Argentina, Chile and Brazil, will begin flying to Montego Bay, St. James from its major hub in Lima, Peru as of December 2. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says Latam Airlines will have 3 weekly flights from Chile and other South American countries to Montego Bay. Currently, 11 flights are offered by Copa Airlines from Panama. Latam's entry into Montego Bay will bring the total weekly flights between South America and Jamaica to 14. The Cari-Med group, which comprises Cari-Med Distributors, Kirk Distributors and Cari-Med International, is to construct a new $6 billion complex in Bernard Lodge, St. Catherine.
Given the rapid growth and diversification of our companies over the past decade, we saw the need to consolidate our operations under a more streamlined organizational structure. The new distribution center is part of this consolidation strategy. Currently, our consumer products warehouses are based at about 6 locations in St. Andrew. Going forward, we will be consolidating these warehouses and the associated commercial and support services at this location. The 258,000 square feet complex will be built at a cost of some $46 million and will warehouse the administrative offices of our consumer goods division. In terms of employment, all told, we expect that during the construction period, over 150 jobs, all told, will be provided, as well as new jobs once the distribution center is completed.
The facility is being constructed in 2 phases, the first of which is expected to be completed by December 2020. The contract for the project has been awarded to Tankweld Limited.
What we have been able to convey to business people in Jamaica, that there is fiscal certainty, that you can plan your business, that you can take the risk because government policies are stable, and the plans that governments make, not just what they're doing now, but what they say they are going to do, that they will actually do it, so you can plan accordingly. So these investments coming to fruition is a signal of the confidence that business people have in the present economic administration of the affairs of the country. And I want to encourage investors to keep on investment, keep on investing, don't stop.
Motorists will face higher fuel prices at the pumps this morning. 87 and 90 octane gasoline will be sold for $127.94 and $130.78 per liter, an increase of $2.66 each. Automotive diesel fuel will be sold for $135.06 per liter, an increase of $1.80. Ultra-low sulfur diesel is up by $1.63 and will be sold for $139.55 per liter. The price of kerosene has also been increased. It has increased by $1.75 and will be sold for $114.25 per liter. Marketing companies and retailers will add their respective markup to these prices. The U.S. Supreme Court on Wednesday, October 16, considered whether Boyd Malvo may challenge his sentences of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Mr. Malvo, a Jamaican by birth, was 17 years old when he and his mentor, John Allen Muhammad, killed in 2002 10 people in sniper attacks over a 3-week period in Maryland, Virginia, and Washington. Mr. Malvo, who is now 34 years of age, was sentenced to life in prison in 2004 before a series of Supreme Court decisions that limited harsh punishments for juvenile offenders. He's currently serving multiple life sentences in a prison in Virginia. 4 of every 10 Jamaicans at some point in their lives will suffer from some form of mental illness, whether anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, or other issues. That's according to Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, citing a local survey. The government aims to raise awareness about mental illness in Jamaica and promote behavioral changes to end the stigma against persons living with mental illness. In this episode of Living Healthy, Simone Absalom outlines the stages of stress that leads to depression and how one can manage or prevent it.
Sometimes there is no identifiable cause. Mental health issues such as depression or an accumulated sense of frustration and anxiety can make some people feel stressed more easily than others. We asked wellness practitioner Andrea Bryan, how can one know they are stressed out?
Well, becoming irritable, intolerable, headaches, chest pains. That's another way. Not being able to eat, loss of appetite. That's another way that you can identify that you're stressed. And most persons that are stressed, they're miserable. Cancer, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and death.
So all the non-communicable diseases have a link to stress?
Have a link to stress, a lot of them. Yeah, different phases of depression, right? So it's not that someone will just get up and be totally depressed today. It comes a little stress and it's not dealt with, it's not managed, and then you become more depressed. So you have different phases until you reach that mental phase where then you'll have to get medication and be monitored. So we don't want persons to get there. We want persons to become aware before they reach that stage. So these are some of the things that we really have to help persons to deal with.
Ms. Bryan says stress can come from situations beyond our control, but sometimes our habits are major contributions.
A lot of us, we leave work at, say, 6 o'clock or 5, in the traffic. By the time we get home, it's a bit late, 7, 8 o'clock, and then we're having the heavy meal. Now, if you go to bed with a heavy meal, then your body will not be restored, because the stomach takes a lot of blood to digest your food. So when you should be resting, not sleeping, because a lot of persons sleep but they do not rest. So when you should be resting, your body has to be digesting all of that heavy meal. Tomorrow morning when you get up, you're tired, you're irritable, you can't function effectively at work or school. So you have to be careful and balance it.
Being physically active and eating healthy is important, but sleep is key. Ms. Bryan says our last meal should be 4 hours before bedtime. You can take action and manage your stress and instances of depression by monitoring your body. Take a stress test.
This was developed in the UK at St. Thomas Hospital by 3 of the world-renowned cardiovascular specialists. What they're trying to do is to lower the incidence of heart disease, heart attack and stroke. So they developed this test so that persons can do and know that they're trending towards a heart attack or a stroke. It is a little device that we affix to your index finger, and the computer reads whatever is happening within the system. So your biological age, which can be higher than the chronological, and at this time, then you are in serious trouble. You do not want that to happen.
Your biological age can be higher than your chronological age?
Your biological age is really the health and status of what's the body.
Everyone reacts differently when they feel stressed or depressed. Let's hear how some people handle their incidences of stress.
Don't know a fashion bar, but the way I release my stress, I just get me youth, get my big racing car, go up a Devon house, I just drive, and after I drive, I just sit and drink a bottle of water, so I release my stress.
When I'm stressed, I sleep, I eat, and I read my Bible. When I read my Bible more, I get all the things off me, and I pray a lot, so, you know, I just eat that.
Well, for me personally, I do various different things. So for instance, I have money, I might go to one party or a bar or so, go have some drink. At that time, might be you can get a phone call, somebody fulfill a promise to you, and you just feel good, that ease the stress out. Sometimes you can have sex, you have another time you can go for swimming, play some football, various different things ease stress.
Well, when I do my stress, I smoke, I drink, I party, I enjoy myself for free up that stress something there. As if I drink and smoke and them something there, the stress not go free. I enjoy myself in my house by listening music, free up my mind, think. You understand what I say? There's something there.
You know, no stress. And money, me say, right now, work and save. That all of the young youth, them young girls, them work and save the money. That means that stress, and don't worry about stress. Leave stress alone. Stress not going nowhere.
Massage therapy can be used for the treatment of mental and emotional problems, including stress, anxiety, and depression. Also considered a relaxation technique, massage therapy may be able to help reduce tension and elicit feelings of calm and deep relaxation. Remember, when you feel stressed or even a little depressed, take control. Avoid caffeine, alcohol, and nicotine. Indulge in physical activity. Get more sleep. Try relaxation techniques. Talk to someone. Keep a stress diary and manage your time.
American rapper Kanye West, who reportedly became a Christian in April of this year, will stage a free concert at Emancipation Park tomorrow, Friday, October 18, beginning at 7 in the evening.
I can confirm that Kanye West will be in Jamaica for one of his pop-up series of Sunday service events. It will be a praise and worship event, and it's on Friday at Emancipation Park, starting at 7 p.m. I'm happy that he has selected Jamaica because this is the first time that he's going to have one of the pop-up Sunday service praise and worship event outside of the United States. So I'm happy that Kingston, Jamaica has been selected for this. And my ministry is facilitating this event, working closely with the Jamaica Tourist Board, PICA, KSAMC, and other government entities to ensure that everything goes well and that Kingston will benefit from his presence here.
Since becoming a Christian, Mr. West has reportedly said he will no longer be performing music with curse words, but will instead focus on music with religious themes. He will be accompanied by a 15-member band and his 120-voice choir. In regional news, chairman of the Barbados-based Caribbean Tourism Organization, CTO, Dominic Fadee, has announced the closure of the organization's offices in the United Kingdom and New York. The closure of the New York office will reportedly take place in December. The United Kingdom's office is expected to close its doors by January 31 next year. Mr. Fadee reportedly said the restructuring exercise is expected to significantly reduce the operational expenses of the CTO, giving it more capacity to undertake its key functions, including regional marketing and product development. The CTO primary objective is to provide services and information necessary for the development of sustainable tourism in the Caribbean. Trinidad and Tobago's Police Commissioner Gary Griffiths is standing by his claims that the situation involving 69 people rescued from the Transformed Life Ministry Rehabilitation Facility amounted to human trafficking. The details in this TV6 report.
It's been almost a week since the police commissioner and his special operations response team raided the Transformation Life Ministry and uncovered what Commissioner Griffith called at the time the largest human trafficking ring in the country's history. How soon can we expect charges of specifically human trafficking against Pastor Awang?
Okay, I can have DCP Ford answer because there's something called an investigation, and there are a number of matters here we are investigating. We have 69 persons. Each and every individual has a different story, has a different concern. Some of the family members, and it varies from a number of different matters that we are dealing with and liaising on a daily basis with the DPP.
I would really like to tell you that by midnight tonight, we can charge all who are culpable. However, you would appreciate that we have an ongoing investigation. And as the Commissioner has said, a lot of moving parts.
The police commissioner continues to accuse media houses and some members of the public of downplaying the severity of the conditions found at the Transformed Life Ministry.
We seem concerned about us exposing the truth. Well, the truth hurts. And probably it is what it is. You can't handle the truth. Well, that is it. And we need to face the truth, face reality, and understand that if we spend all of the time putting focus on the meaning of trafficking instead of making emphasis on putting the focus on trying to deal with a serious problem that is affecting the elderly, affecting mentally challenged persons in this country, affecting children, but we want to spend all our time trying to understand the meaning of trafficking.
But the issue has never been about the conditions, but the commissioner's use of the terms human trafficking and modern-day slavery. Sticking to his claims today, the police commissioner brought out a team. The TTPS's legal department, the former head of the Division of Aging, an FBI consultant, and a former sergeant within the Los Angeles Police Department.
When you look at the interpretation section of the Trafficking in Persons Act, it sets out what exploitation is. And exploitation can be many different things.
What you guys have done is very obvious, is being able to identify human trafficking even though it may not present itself as such. So it might be hiding in the shadows of a murder case or gang activity or drug activity, and most importantly, that it's not only international but national as well.
Though Commissioner Griffith declined to say if he did his own independent investigation after receiving the information from the journalist before raiding TLM, Griffith did admit, though, that about 20 and not all 69 patients were found in cages or handcuffs, contrary to multiple reports.
There is still uncertainty about the actual number of people missing following the passage of the Category 5 Hurricane Dorian. Health Minister of the Bahamas, Dr. Dwayne, says an official list will be published shortly.
424 people still remain missing. Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands telling media today that government will soon list the names of missing persons in local newspapers. He says this will significantly assist officials with determining who is missing and allow families who still have not filed a missing person report the opportunity to do so.
What we'd like to be able to do is to make sure that anybody who is missing a loved one knows exactly how to do it, and that process is, that the difficulty is minimized so that people can get closure.
Dr. Sands says once the names have been gazetted, families will be expected to provide detailed descriptions of their loved ones, and DNA will be used to identify bodies which have already begun to decompose. Current laws indicate that families have to wait 7 years before a missing person is classified as deceased. Dr. Sands confirmed that government is considering the idea of amending that timeline in the wake of Dorian.
I think if there's overwhelming evidence that somebody is missing as a result of the storm, that some consideration should be made. Now, what that timeline should be, or should it be 6 months, a year, that is when discussion with all of the stakeholders would come up with an appropriate timeline.
However, he warned that this is being considered with caution.
Bear in mind that this is not something that you can just pull out of thin air. It requires consideration of the implications. You know, what would have happened if they declared Dwayne Sands to be dead, and then 6 months later he shows up? Does he get to retrieve his real property? Does he get to now pay back the life insurance on his life? I mean, these are serious questions. So while there's a need for closure, I think we have to be very careful that we think this through very carefully.
Hurricane Dorian's death toll now stands at 61.
Guyana's President David Granger has ordered a full inquiry into a crash which left 5 persons, including a presidential guard, dead.
But it has been confirmed that among the dead is presidential guard Ronneil Barker, who was driving the police car. The other deceased are driver of the other car, Ghana Defense Force Sergeant Leon Tucker, his aunt, Special Constable Laverne Stobie, and husband and wife Herbert and Denise Josiah, who were heading to work at the time of the accident. 2 other people are reported to be in hospital in critical condition. President Granger visited the scene soon after the accident, and in a national radio and television statement later in the day, he sought to assure the country that the government and the security forces will ensure that the findings and recommendations of a commission of inquiry into the crash will be fully and rigorously implemented.
In sports, legendary West Indies cricketer Desmond Haynes and Floyd Reifer, who both failed in their bid to be head coach of the West Indies team, will still play a role in West Indies cricket. That's the word from Director of West Indies Cricket, Jimmy Adams.
I wouldn't limit it to just under 19s, because I think what Desmond, you know, his knowledge of batting is something that could benefit far more than just the junior squads that we have. So there are options available right throughout our high-performance system, and the discussions will be had with Floyd going forward. But he's somebody that we definitely see as one of our top young coaches, and we're going to be doing everything that we can to encourage him to stay within the system, okay, and, you know, to continue making contributions to the development of our young players.
And that's our package. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same place, for more news right here on PBCJ, the People's Station.